we shared an unforgettable experience taking our toddler cruising for the first time on the Disney Treasure. We invite you to join us on our vlog of this grand adventure. Hey travel friends, welcome back to our channel. My name is Stoof. If you're new here, welcome. Also, if it's your first time here and you enjoy travel and nature related content, please consider subscribing to our channel. So keep in mind, I mentioned we're traveling with a toddler. This is not going to be a perfect fairy tale vacation vlog. It actually started out a bit rough with our 2-hour flight from Pittsburgh to Orlando getting delayed from 5 p.m. to 8:40 p.m. for our departure. When we got to Orlando, the Lyft and Uber prices were skyrocketing because it was late at night. We did make it all the way over to the Cocoa Beach, Port Canaveral area and checked into our hotel after 1 a.m. Nate's loading up the hotel cart. We are going to sleep as well as we can. It's peacefully raining. Palm trees. Cece, you're doing so good, honey. Luckily, everyone slept in the next day, including the toddler. After checking out of the hotel, we headed over to a delicious brunch with some family members that live in the area. They graciously dropped us off at Port Canaveral after brunch, where we began our Disney Treasure Cruise adventure. So you check in for your Disney cruise about a month before the actual cruise departure date, and when you check in, they give you a time slot to arrive at the port. So we arrived at the port during our scheduled time, which is around 1:15, 1:30 p.m. Once we got there, there are 2 check-in lines, one for past cruisers or Castaway Club members, and one line for first-time Disney cruisers. We went in the wrong line by accident and we ended up taking a little bit longer to get checked in. I think it was about a 15-minute wait, so not too bad. So we got all checked in, headed up the escalator for one more quick picture with the Disney cruise backdrop before heading onto the ship.
Okay, we're going on the boat. Cece is ready for nap time.
So side note, there are a ton of photo backdrops and picture opportunities with characters throughout the Disney cruise, and professional photographers capture all these shots for you, and you could buy a digital packet of every single picture that they got of you for about $400, I believe. Or you could be more frugal like we were and just ask the attendant next to the photographer to take your photo using your phone camera.
Minnie up there, Cece?
Our daughter, Cece, got to see Minnie for the first time here. She was up on a balcony looking down at her, and it was so heartwarming to see her face light up and her little hand waving happily at Minnie. We checked into our stateroom on deck 9.
Oh, we have an Encanto painting on the wall. Look how nice. Oh, we get a Castaway Club bag.
I'll have a full room tour video linked in the description under this video if you're interested in checking that out. We pre-arranged for a pack and play to be in our room via the Disney Cruise app. Nate got the pack and play set up while I headed down to deck 2 to check out the open house events for the It's a Small World Nursery and the Oceaneer Club areas. Disney cruises have an open house for these areas on Embarkation Day prior to the muster drill happening. It's a great way for you to check out the space where your kid's going to be dropped off and get an idea of what their day is going to be like and things that they can do. After we all attended the mandatory muster drill, we headed up to decks 11 and 12 to check out the different pools and watch the sail away party as we embarked on our cruise and departed Port Canaveral. There are two dinner time options, the early dining at 5:45 and the later dining at 8:15 p.m. We had the 5:45 dining, so we enjoyed our first meal at the restaurant 1923. There are 3 restaurants on the Disney Treasure, 1923, Worlds of Marvel, and Plaza de Coco. Dinner was fantastic. You can order anything you want from the menu, and the presentation is great. The servers were very kind to us, and they clearly love kids. They also go above and beyond for people with food allergies, providing a special menu for you to pre-order the following evening's meal so that it can be prepared without any possible cross-contamination. We returned from dinner to see that we already had some fish extender gifts and pixie dusting in the fish hook extender that I made.
Okay, what is it? A lobster! It's a lobster!
We started day 2 at Marceline Market. This is the buffet-style cafe and restaurant on deck 11. They had a great spread of breakfast food options, from fresh cut fruit to pancakes and Mickey waffles, eggs, meat, smoked salmon, and a variety of rice and veggie dishes. After breakfast, we attended the Royal Gathering. This is an event that we had to book about a month in advance using the Disney Cruise app. 4 to 5 different Disney princesses will be stationed at the Royal Gathering, and guests line up to get photographs and autographs from the princesses. Nate and I did this on our last Disney cruise before we had a child, and I must say, it is way more fun to watch the princesses get into character and talk to your kid.
Go, Mickey! Go, Mickey! There you go. Go get it. Go ahead, go give a hug.
Next, Cece took a nap in the stateroom while Nate hung out with her. I went down to the gym to get a little cardio in, and I was very surprised to see that there are only 11 treadmills and all of them were taken. Alright, we are in the room and we already received a bunch of our fish hook extender gifts, and I think it's time for us to give ours out. So I already did one this morning. I made an original oil painting on a little 5x7 canvas panel. There were 4 staterooms in our group, and we're one of those staterooms, so I had 3 staterooms to give gifts to. We got these little water carriers, and I have stickers of their favorite characters to put on their little water bottles. And then we also have a couple little Pez dispensers, because those are fun and collectibles. So.
We visited the splash pad for just a few minutes, came back down, and got
Cece's
her ready to go to.
A little overwhelmed because right now she doesn't go to daycare, or she's also not put in like very loud social environments very often. So this is a lot for her. And now she's at daycare right now, so we had a bit of time to vlog here. We're gonna go enjoy some time at the adult pool.
We have got a little over 1 hour left.
And then we're gonna go to dinner after that. And tonight's formal night. Okay, here are all of the goodies that we got in our fish extender. This is insane. They gave us so much. It was our first time participating in the fish hook extender gift exchange, and I really had no idea what to expect because the spreadsheet said there's no minimum and no maximum. It could be handmade gifts or it could be purchased gifts. There was a little thing in the spreadsheet that mentioned the people's favorite characters, so I tried to include that into their gifts. But I also didn't have a lot of extra room in my suitcase, so I didn't really bring that much. And we got so many goodies, and I felt terrible that I feel like we did not gift anywhere near this level for what we received. I emailed the people in our group thanking them so much for all the gifts we received, and I think in the future we're just going to do pixie dusting. We had formal night dinner at Worlds of Marvel. Our dinner entertainment was a Miracles from Molecules little show on the screens put together by Ant-Man and the Wasp, and a few other Marvel characters sprinkled in there.
Cutting-edge technology that for the first time allows us to specifically target our PIM particles to shrink or grow just about anything.
Pretty sweet, right?
I did the wrong thing.
Yeah, I see what you mean. That's terrible.
But why did that enlarge and the suitcase shrunk? Yeah.
After dinner, we posed for a couple family pictures in front of those backdrops. We kicked off day 3 at sea with breakfast at Marceline Market. After that, we did a couple different character greetings like Goofy and Minnie. Cece had her morning nap. After that, we had her booked for the Small World nursery from noon to 5 p.m. So we dropped her off at the nursery and she cried when we dropped her off. It broke my heart. So after dropping her off, Nate and I went back up to decks 11, 12, and 13, where we relaxed on the lounge chairs for a bit in the sun. And I do mean just a bit because as we were sailing on the open waters, a storm cloud started to come our way. Looks like it's gonna rain. Well, it is raining. That's cool. Luckily, up on deck 14, Currents Bar has a covered outdoor seating area, so we could watch the rain coming down on the open decks and people scurrying to go inside and get out of the rain while we enjoyed our beverages under a roof. We picked Cece up from daycare, and then we went down to deck 5 for some shopping.
Say time for dinner, Dada.
Alright, it's day 3, and it is dinner at Plaza. Okay, so the movie Coco makes me ugly cry, and I had to hold it together as soon as we walked around the corner and saw that beautiful ofrenda. We continued over to our table, placed our orders, just before the show started.
Señoras y señores, buenas tardes, buenas noches, buenas tardes, buenas noches, señoritas y señores. Here we be tonight, joy que alegría, for this music is my life.
After dinner, we went up to the pool deck to watch Mickey's Color Spin Dance Party.
Morning, it is 6 a.m. and we just got room service breakfast and we're gonna have an early morning. We're getting off the ship as soon as we can to start our adventure in Tortola. You see that island? Hi, island.
We docked at the Cyril B. Romney Pier at Tortola and could get off the ship as early as 7:30 a.m. We were down to deck 1 by 7:15 a.m. and I anticipated long lines to get off the ship, which was not the case at all.
Very pleasantly surprised. We waited in a line for like 15 minutes because we were 15 minutes early, and then right around 7:30, a little after, they just opened it up and we just got right off the boat.
We had a 12-minute walk to the Road Town ferry terminal where we were hoping to catch the 7:50 ferry over to the island of Virgin Gorda.
Sissy made a poop as we were getting off the boat. Alright, we got off the boat, we changed the diaper, and we are walking to the ferry.
Even with the diaper change delay, we still made it to the ferry on time. The ferry was pretty much full. There were both tourists and locals on that ferry. It was about a 30-minute ferry ride over to Virgin Gorda. Cece fell asleep from the rocking and the bumping of the boat, so that was good. We were hoping she would take a nap in the morning at some point. The activity I had planned for today was to visit the Baths National Park, do a little bit of time at Devil's Bay, and then go through the caves of the large boulders that are on this island. There is another small admission fee at a little ticket booth when you make it to the park. You pay that entrance fee and then you can follow signs for the baths. There are several little hiking trails that go through this area as well. It can be a bit confusing to find your way to the baths. When we first got there, we just followed the sign with an arrow pointing this way to the baths. We decided to check out Devil's Bay first, so we wouldn't have to trek all the way back here after the baths. And I am glad we did it this way because Devil's Bay was pretty empty. There were just a few other people there. The water was so calm and clear, and it was quiet other than the sounds of the waves. Cece was happily playing in the sand while Nate did some snorkeling. By now it was mid-morning and we were heading over to the baths. This is that cave section where you go in and out of boulders and around and up and down steps and ladders. By this point in the morning it was getting more crowded, so we did have a bit of a backup. This is a one-way trail system, so everybody goes the same way, which I think is a great way to do it. It was just a little bit crowded, so we had to wait a couple times while people went down ladders or waiting through the next small area to meander their way through. So I think this is a safe thing to do for any age group. I'm claustrophobic myself, and I did not feel claustrophobic at all doing this hike. Lots of natural light filters in through the boulders, so use your best judgment if you are planning to do this for yourselves. I'm going to have another full video about our baths excursion linked in the description under this video if you'd like to see a more in-depth talk about that. And then we headed out of the baths where there is a beach area and a restaurant bar called Poor Man's Bar. They have some hot foods, snack foods, and beverages. There are a couple little handmade souvenir type shops there. And there's a beach area for you to hang out and relax.
Oh. Tail's so bright.
We hung out there for a bit and then started to make our way back up to the top of the baths, where we waited for the shuttle to take us back to the ferry. Cece started out the ferry ride happy as a clam and ended the ferry ride throwing scream cry tantrums, so that was unfortunate. She really needed her second nap, but was unable to fall asleep on the way back. As soon as we got back onto the treasure, we put her in our quiet room with her sleep sack on so she could take a nice, peaceful nap.
Now we are heading back up to let her go play in the swim pad. Pirate night.
Pirate night, they have Caribbean-inspired cuisine at the restaurant. We had dinner back at 1923. After dinner, we headed back up to Deck 11 to watch the cast members do a pirate-themed show.
Pirate Daisy! Hello, everyone. I'm of course for fun. How about you? It's Captain Mickey and Minnie!
Even later in the evening, I want to say 10 p.m., they have another pirate-themed show. This is that famous show where Captain Jack Sparrow jumps off of that plank-like structure down onto the stage and begins the choreography with the dance crew. They also have a pretty amazing fireworks display on Pirate Night. However, if you're watching this Pirate Night show on the Disney Treasure ship, I recommend being on Deck 12 so that you can get a better view of the fireworks, because from Deck 11, the Aqua Mouse water slide is blocking the view of the fireworks.
Good morning. We are in St. Thomas today, and we took it a little easier this morning. Cece slept till about 6:30. We had some breakfast, rinsed off, got our stuff together. Our plan for today is to rent a car. We're bringing the car seat with us today, so we'll see how that works. Wish me luck driving. I think they drive on the left side of the road here. I made a mistake. We walked about 10 minutes to the rental car place, 360 rental car, because I saw their rates online showed $30 a day to rent a car, and you don't have to make a reservation. So I get there, and the guy's like, well, we have a Jeep Wrangler available. It'll be $150 a day before the fees. I was like, what? I saw $30 on your website. And he's like, oh, well, that's only if you rent a car for 3 days in a row or whatever.
Yeah, he said it's a 3-day minimum.
For that rate? Yeah.
And he said nobody around here will rent a car for $30 a day.
Yeah, so noted. So now we're heading back to the ship just to drop off the car seats because we don't need that.
I went back and forth between a few different options for what we were going to do that day, and ultimately decided that we would just take a taxi over to Magens Bay and spend the day there, instead of stopping at several different sites like I originally planned. Cece fell asleep on the taxi ride over to the beach, so that was great. As we made it to the beach, she stayed asleep, and Nate purchased 2 shaded lounge chairs for the day, so we placed her down very gently on a lounge chair, and she did stay asleep for a bit longer there. She got a decent nap this morning, so that made us happy. At Magens Bay, we just hung out and played in the water and the sand until it started to rain.
We're getting sprinkled on, a little bit of rain here in Magens Bay.
Next, we grabbed lunch from the restaurant at the beach, and then we took a taxi back over to Havenside Pier to get back onto the Disney Treasure. After Cece's afternoon nap, we went up to Deck 12 for the Hero Zone Sports Center. Nate played an intense game of air hockey with Cece, and then we grabbed pizza for dinner from Deck 11 and skipped the fancy sit-down dinner because Cece was struggling with sitting still for that long duration, and we tried out all of the restaurants at least one time. We started day 6 at sea with Marceline Market for breakfast. Then we went to the observation deck on deck 6 to check out the forward part of the ship. Next, we headed down to deck 3 for the famous diaper dash.
Well, we dropped Cece off at the nursery and tried to take a nap.
Unsuccessfully.
Yeah, just kind of laid there. We're both tired. And now we're gonna go up and try the water slide and then get some lunch.
Nate and I wanted to try out the Aqua Mouse. This is the biggest water slide on the Disney Treasure. It starts going uphill slowly on a belt system. While you pass some screens with animations and audio, you get spritzed with a little bit of water from the ceiling as well. Then you go downhill through a dark winding tube, which opens back up into an exposed section, and the slide has jets that shoot your inflatable tube upslope, and then you head back down slope to the end of the ride. After lunch at Marceline Market, we headed up to Chip and Dale's pool on deck 14 forward. We found this area less crowded and quieter than the adult-only section of the ship because this pool was always closed from the waves and water crashing as the ship rocked. While we were there, I did some yoga and Nate listened to an audiobook. Next, we headed back down to pick up Cece from the nursery at 5. Then we got her some quick dinner, explored the ship a bit more, then got Cece ready for bed. The Moana performance was on at the theater this evening, and we couldn't go to see it in person because Cece was sleeping in our room, so we did watch the show from our bed in the room.
Ordered room service.
And we have to keep turning up and turning down the volume because they're too quiet when they're not singing, and they're way too loud when they're singing.
We kicked off our final day on the Disney Treasure with an early wake up around 5 a.m. I think that Cece had some teeth coming in and was uncomfortable and woke up early.
Good morning. It's our final day at Castaway Cay.
We had a few more little pixie dusting gifts in our fishhook extender. We got off the ship in a breeze and began walking over to Castaway Cay. Castaway Cay is Disney's private island in the Bahamas region of the Caribbean. They have several rows of lounge chairs, several different open water areas, a massive snorkeling spot. They also have the buffet style lunch at Cookie's Barbecue, so we grabbed some lunch there.
So what's going on here?
We have to leave early because we need a nap.
Somebody won't nap on the beach.
After lunch, Cece really needed to take a nap, and Nate and I were hoping she would do so, but I think there were just too many sounds and exciting things happening. She was not able to fall asleep there.
More realities of traveling with a toddler after not falling asleep for an hour on the beach.
She fell asleep on the 5-minute tram ride.
Falls asleep on the tram ride.
So today we dropped Cece off for 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. so that Nate and I can go to dinner. And she cried. She cries every time I let her go now. It makes me so sad.
Woo! Spinning!
Nate and I enjoyed our final fine dining experience together at 1923.
Crab. Alright, it's 6:45. We're back at Port Canaveral and we are and we're all cleaned up in the room, got everything packed up, somehow, I know why, our suitcases are 10 pounds heavier because we got a million presents this entire week from the fish extenders. So the last morning, you have your room all cleaned up. The evening before you put your checked bags out, they'll take them down for you. So all we have are our carry-on bags, and we're all cleaned up. So we're just going to go to breakfast, and then we're going to debark the ship when we're called.
We enjoyed breakfast together as a family in 1923. After that, we headed out of breakfast and waited on deck 3 to disembark the ship.
We're back on land.
My relatives picked us up at the cruise terminal and drove us all the way to the Orlando airport, so we were very thankful for that. We had more delays getting home from Orlando, but we are happy to say that we made it home safely with a week full of unexpected adventure and unforgettable memories. Thanks for watching our vlog about cruising on the Disney Treasure. If you have cruised with Disney before, please leave a comment below and let us know your favorite ship and what you enjoy the most about cruising. Please also leave a comment if you have a question for us about our experience. Looking forward to hearing from you guys, and don't forget to subscribe if you are new here, and we wish you all happy travels!